for today. After this, we would have the opening speech by the Vice Rector 3, Rear Admiral Dr. Engineer Suirwan, followed by the reading of the special guest CV by RIDU Head of Corporation, Colonel Lek Rujito D. Asmoro. Then the guest lecture, which is going to span for 45 minutes, followed by a Q&A session for 30 minutes. Then we're going to have presentation of certificates from the Vice Rector 3 to Mr. Ambassador, and also a book presentation from Mr. Ambassador to Vice Rector 3. Then we're going to have a closing. At this point of the event, allow me to invite the Vice Rector 3, Rear Admiral Dr. Engineer Suirwan, for his opening speech. Sir, the time and space is yours. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi. Good morning. May God bless us all. You are the ambassador of the Republic of India to the Republic of Indonesia. His Excellency Mr. Manoj K. Bharti, respected India Defense Attaché Captain Amitabh, Honorable Ridu Official, Chairman of Educational Development and Quality Insurance Institution, Deans, Deputy Deans, Excellent Tree of Official, the lecturers, and the vocational first graduate, and doctoral student of the Republic of Indonesia Defense University, whom I am very proud of. At this good opportunity, I am on behalf of the Rector of Defense University of the Republic of Indonesia, welcoming all of you to the Republic of Indonesia Defense University campus. The campus that also known as Kampus Bela Negara. The rector is not able to be with us on today's lecture due to his other commitment which cannot be delayed. It is an honor for Ridu to receive an honor visit and a general lecture from His Excellency Ambassador Manoj Kumar Bharti. The respected audience of the general lecture, the topic of today's lectures is India-Indonesia, a perspective. I believe we will hear a very interesting insight that the ambassador would share with us. Honorable Ambassador, at this good occasion, I need to provide a brief information about Ridu. Ridu was established in the era of President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono. It was officially on March 10-11, 2009. The establishment of Ridu was based on the Presidential Regulation number 5 year 2011. Ridu has a vision to become a world-class defense university in the year of 2024. In 2009, Ridu started with 2 faculties and 2 postgraduate study programs. And today, after 12 years of working hard, Ridu has 1 vocational faculty, 4 postgraduate faculties, 4 postgraduate faculties, and 1 defense science doctoral program. To end my remarks, Students are required to give full attention on today's lectures, ask questions, take notes, and submit your summary to respective faculty. Before I end this opening speech, saya berpesan kepada seluruh mahasiswa untuk fokus kepada apa yang diberikan, sehingga siapkan pertanyaan yang sesuai apa yang disampaikan oleh Bapak Ambasador, sehingga pertanyaan dan jawaban tidak menyimpang dari penyampaian apa yang sudah disampaikan. With that, I end my remarks. Thank you very much. Terima kasih. Salam bela negara. Salam bela negara. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your opening speech. Next is the reading of our special guest CV by RIDU Head of Cooperation, Colonel Lek Rujito D. Asmoro. Sir, the time and space is yours. Thank you.
Yes. Good morning, selamat pagi. Izinkan saya untuk membacakan CV dari Bapak Duta Besar. His Excellency Manoj Kumar Bharti assumed charge as the Ambassador of India to Indonesia on the 15th January 2021. Sri Manoj Kumar Bharti assumed as Special Secretary Administration since 5th May 2020, belongs to the 1988 batch of the Indian Foreign Service. Sri Bharti has been looking after the administration of the Ministry of Additional Secretary Administration since 25th June 2019. Before this, he had held the position as Additional Secretary on the Economic Diplomacy and States in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He has served as India's Ambassador to Kiev in 2015 until 2018 and Belarus in 2011 to 2015. He has also served in Indian mission in Tehran, The Hague, Kathmandu, Ankara as DCM, and also Yangon as DCM. In New Delhi, Sri Bharti has served in the Ministry of Commerce, Government of India, where he handled economic relation and foreign trade issues with Central European countries. He also worked as Deputy Secretary in charge of Bangladesh affairs. Later, he headed the governance and information technology division of the ministry from 2008 to 2011. He has working knowledge of Persian, Russian, and Nepali languages. Sri Bharti had schooling at Netarhat Residential School, Jharkhand. He is a Bachelor Technic in Electrical Engineering. So glad I'm also electrical engineering, sir. From the prestigious India Institute of Technology, Kanpur. His wife, Anamika, is a former officer of the Government of India, an art historian and educator. They have 2 adult sons. That's all the CV that I can read and share with you today. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Thank you, Colonel Richito, for the beautiful reading of the CV. So this is the moment we've all been waiting for, which is the time for the guest lecture with His Excellency Manoj Kumar Bharti. So we would like to invite His Excellency to the stage to share a piece of his experiences. Sir, the time and the space is yours.
Good morning, Selamat Pagi, everyone. Vice Rector, Rear Admiral, Dr. Engineer Sudhirvan, other dignitaries from the Academy, students, cadets, and Mahasiswa of this university. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to first thank the Honorable Rector for giving me this opportunity to come here today and be present in this beautiful auditorium in front of you. The purpose, as far as I understand, is to know a little bit more of India, which actually is Indonesia's very close maritime neighbor. Many times we forget this particular fact, how close we are, not only in physical, geographical terms, historical linkages, but also in our thought processes, in our learning, in our activities, and in our future prospects. That is why I thought that I'll make this presentation, this lecture, not a very boring, academic type, but a more interactive, more interesting, to understand each other very well. I will deal with India's past, present, and future. And then we will also discuss as to how India and Indonesia can come together, not only in defense sectors, but in many other sectors as well. I hope this line of action is agreeable to everyone, and you are looking forward to a session of interesting facts, both about India, Indonesia, and India-Indonesia together. So let us begin this journey by, does it work? Where is the first slide? Okay, I think it works. So we begin this journey by telling you about our national flag, which you can see has 3 colors with a wheel, and each one of them means something. Dharma Chakra is something, oh, it doesn't show on the screen, all right. Is something which is of eternal interest to India and Indian ethos. Important thing to go about India's past is to understand that the past is linked very closely with our present day policy, both domestically as well as internationally. And I'll get to that very soon. You know about India, and you know about the nearness that India has with Indonesia. What is more important to note is that there is only one ocean in the world out of the 6 oceans which is named after a country. That is Indian Ocean. And the reason is very simple. Right from ancient times, India was in the middle of any movement from east to west, either through land or through sea. Obviously, in the Middle Ages, when the British took over the entire area, they named this particular ocean as the Indian Ocean. India has more than 5,000 old civilization. 28 states today, 8 union territories, and 7,516 kilometers of coastline. If you see, it is the 7th largest country in terms of size and 3.2 million square kilometers in terms of area, and the 2nd highest populous country in the world. If I would like to compare it with Indonesia, I think Indonesia is the 16th largest country in the world, if I'm not wrong, or 11th. And it is the 4th most populous country in the world. If we add our 2 countries' population, 1 in every 4 persons on this globe will be either an Indian or an Indonesian. Before I go ahead, let me understand. My English is okay with every one of you? Are you able to understand me all right?
Very good, sir.
Wonderful. Okay, Mark Twain, you know, he is a philosopher. He wrote in 1897 in his book, Following the Equator, India is the cradle of the human race, the birthplace of human speech, the mother of history, the grandmother of legend, and the great-grandmother of tradition. Our most valuable and most constructive materials in the history of man and woman are treasured in India only. Albert Einstein said, we owe a lot to the Indians who taught us how to count, without which no worthwhile scientific discovery could have been made. Do you know why he's saying this? Because the numeral system that the whole world uses today, and that is based on the decimal system, 0, 1, 2, 3, the way we write in numerals, was invented in India. The only other system of writing numbers was the Roman script, when you write 1 as 1, 2 as 2, 3 as 3, 1 IV as 4, etc. If you want to write 1952, you will need the entire space to write 1952. So that was the only other system available to write numbers. If the decimal system was not in place, the whole mathematics, physics, space science, or any other technology would not have been available to us. That is one of the reasons why Einstein is saying this, that we owe a lot to the Indians who taught us how to count. Population-wise, India has just crossed 1.4 billion on the 1st January this year. We add 13.5 million people every year in our population. Rate of growth of Indian population has come down significantly, because about 5 years ago, when I used to give this lecture in Ukraine and before that in Belarus, I used to say that India adds 22 million people every year, which is the population of Australia. So I used to say that India adds 1 Australia every year to its population. Today, that number has come down to 13.5 million. We cannot say that we add Australia every year, but still there are many more countries which have population less than 13.5. And we are growing still, even though our replacement rate has come down to 2, which makes the Indian population stable in technical terms. but in actual terms, the population is supposed to be increasing till 2040 and reach a figure close to 1.6 billion. We will be crossing over the highest population, that is of China, by 2030. Why I am mentioning this is that it is a challenge, and it is a challenge to which the Indian government is very well aware of, and it is a challenge that we need to fulfill for our future, which I'll touch upon again when I discuss about India's future. India is an ancient country, but a young nation. About 60% of our population is below the age of 35. And 60% of 1.4 billion people, you can imagine, is about 750 million people. So 750 million people in India are younger than 35 years of age. India is the world's biggest democracy. It's written on top, but it's not visible. Maybe we can do something to reduce the screen. Why do we say it is the biggest democracy? It is, in the 2019 elections, 867 million people were registered as voters. Even if we say that 60% of the people registered actually voted, you can imagine that the figure is more than 600 million. And the second largest democracy in the world, you know which one is? America, with a total population of 334 million. About 220 million people are registered voters there in America, and nearly 150 million people vote actually. You can imagine that the Indian democracy is 4 times larger than the second largest democracy in the world. Indonesia is the world's 3rd largest democracy. So as 2 largest democracies in the world with almost similar socio-economic condition being developed nations, we share a special responsibility not only to safeguard the norm of democracy, but also give hope to people around the globe who are in the developing stage, who are underdeveloped or in developing stage, that the democratic system of governance is good for development, freedom, and progress. So that is one of the reasons why this lecture I thought is important, so that we can know how Indonesia and India share a special responsibility, not only to our own people, but to the people of the entire globe. Why is this not working? This is not working anymore? Okay. We talk of languages in India and also in Indonesia. You have about 700 languages spoken in Indonesia. We have nearly 1,652 dialects. But in India, we have given 22 languages the status of official language. We have 22 official languages mentioned in the Constitution of India. That is the diversity in terms of language. And if you see a currency note in India, this is 50 rupees note, the value 50 rupees is written in 15 different scripts. 50 rupees, 50 rupees, 50 rupees. They are all 15 different scripts of India. The 22 official languages use one of those 15 scripts. Language map, you can see different languages spoken. There are 5,600 dailies being published, 15,000 weeklies, and 20,000 periodicals. Some of the basic facts of India is It's world's third largest economy in terms of PPP. We'll get to that later. World-class recognition in IT, biotechnology, pharmaceuticals. Largest English-speaking nation in the world. Basically, nearly 50% of Indian population is aware of English language. They are not all graduate in English language and can read and understand Shakespeare, I can tell you. But if you ask them a question in English, they will be able to understand and reply to you in some kind of English. 50%. 50% of Indian population becomes nearly 700 million people. And the second largest English-speaking country again is USA, where the total population is 334 million. Even if everybody in US speaks English, Indian English knowing population is double that amount. India also has the third largest, actually the second largest standing army, which is over 1.5 million strong. And it has second largest pool of scientists and engineers in the world. Our neighbors, you know them. What is important is to see this slide, which is the next one, and which I mentioned to you in the beginning. And that is our maritime neighborhood. And you can see that if you see the